Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show. I am Billy, and he is.
Hello, I'm Joe. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joe. Joe has his own podcast. It's called Indy's Local Flavor. You can catch that. Just type in Indy's Local Flavor in your little search bar. It's going to come up on iTunes. It's going to come up on Google Play. Just type in
Andy's Local Flavor, yes.
and it's going to come up. Click on it. Listen to it. He has great material. You can also find the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on Facebook. Subscribe to our page. You can also find the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on YouTube under the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show. So if you just type in the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show, you'll find it. And plus, we're going to put it on YouTube, and it's going to be on the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show Facebook page too. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. What a week.
Oh man, I think everybody's seeing the news. So I just have one thing to say. The stuff that went down in DC last Wednesday was, I'm just going to say one word, be done. Unacceptable.
Do you think that's the same word the people in Pittsburgh are using this morning?
No, they're using the word dumbfounded.
My wife was saying, "Are you sure that's not Russell Crowe as quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?"
Well, he'd have his sword out, trying to fight everybody from Gladiator, I think, after that.
That's true. That is true. You want to cover what happened over the weekend, and we're not going to use the C word, but I guess we're going to have to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we are.
Okay, all right.
Definitely are. Yeah, I can do the sports report, certainly. Over the weekend, NCAA basketball action, Ohio State beats Rutgers. The Michigan versus Penn State game was canceled on Saturday. Tonight in basketball, it's only one game in the that doesn't seem right. Oh, it's got to be.
I know Indiana and Purdue play later this week.
Yeah. Tonight, check your local listings. They had Wisconsin at Michigan at 7 on ESPN. That can't be right. That's got to be ESPN2. And Rutgers versus Penn State was canceled because the big football game tonight is Ohio State versus Alabama at 8 on ESPN, and Alabama is favored by 9. I think Ohio State has a shot here because they beat Clemson. I think they definitely have a shot to win. Alabama is a great team, but if Alabama win, I think I'm going to take Ohio State because I'm a Big Ten guy. But if Alabama wins, I don't think they win by 9. So the big news today, the Eagles fire head coach Doug Peterson, which, if I remember correctly, took them to the Super Bowl and won. So that was the big football news. The NFL wildcard weekend, the Rams upset the Seahawks. The Bucks beat Washington. The Ravens beat the Titans. And the Saints were all over the Bears. The Browns upset the Steelers. And I wasn't really happy with the coaching decisions, and the missed field goal from, I think, 30 yards out or whatever really hurt the Colts. The Bills beat the Colts, so which moves, But when you look back on their season, I got to give Phil Rivers credit because I thought I was questioning whether he would take them to the playoffs, and that's exactly what he did. So I got to give them credit for that. The defense was, the defense this year's been pretty good. So I think they go out, and me and my best friend Craig were talking about that, and I think the Colts go out and get a rookie quarterback, and Rivers may stick around to mentor him. So we'll see what happens with that. But, tough weekend for the Colts fans.
Well, Deshaun Watson is very upset here in Houston and wants out. And
yes,
they think that one of the routes may be the Dolphins, but I don't think you count out the Colts, especially if they can come up with a, kind of like a Minnesota Vikings. What was that running back that played at Georgia and then went played Herschel Walker? Herschel Walker, huge trade. Of course, draft picks we're going to have to go and everything else. But that would be interesting to see Deshaun Watson as a quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
There's no way Deshaun Watson is coming here. Deshaun Watson, I think, is going to Atlanta because I don't think that Houston would want to play him twice a year.
You know what? You're right. You had Peyton Manning you had to face for 15, 16, 17 years in a row. And then you had, the general Andrew Luck that you had to face for 6 or 7. And, all of a sudden, the Texans start winning, which the AFC South is a very weak division, in my opinion.
I totally agree with that. The Raiders, I'd love to see Lovie Smith go to the Raiders. He got fired by Illinois. I'd love to see the Raiders pick up Julio Jones. I know he's a little injury prone, but he can help those rookie receivers. So the offseason is going to be real interesting this year.
Two fake teams, in my opinion, are the Texans and the Falcons. I wouldn't. If I was Deshaun Watson, you got to look at the history of the Falcons, and then I just think it's just. I just think the Falcons are a wannabe NFL team, and so is the Houston Texans, in my opinion.
Okay, so my second thing is I think Stafford leaves and he could go to Detroit if you would want to go there, because Detroit is kind of one-dimensional, but that would be a second possible landing spot for Watson, in my opinion.
But he is, wasting his time here in Houston because he's a very good quarterback.
Oh yeah, he's one of the top 5 in my opinion in the league.
And to watch him play with what he's been dealt is just amazing within itself.
And they deal away Hopkins, which I was like, huh? So, yeah.
And I also think J.J. Watt leaves and goes to Pittsburgh to be with his brothers.
Yeah, that's a strong possibility. I mean, he wants to be with a winning team where he can go somewhere in the playoffs. So that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
So, the next round looks like this. The Rams at the Packers Saturday at 4:30 on Fox. This game's probably going to be the best one of the 4. The Ravens at the Bills Saturday at 8 on NBC. The Browns are in Kansas City to take on the Chiefs at 3 on CBS on Sunday. And, bring your brass knuckles for this one. It's the Bucs and Saints who play twice a year, Sunday at 6:30 on Fox.
Both Breeze and Brady looked really good this weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's I was growing the beard for the Colts, and since that didn't happen, I'm now growing it for Drew Brees and the Saints. So we'll see what happens there.
Do you think the Browns have a shot against the Chiefs?
Yes. They have an outside chance against the Chiefs because the Steelers were dumb enough to talk trash to the Browns, and that was a huge motivational factor for them. And the Chiefs have been winning games by like a touchdown or less against Miami. So, they got a shot. So the Chiefs are beatable, but you have to get in Mahomes' face, and you got to cover up his receivers. If you don't cover up his receivers and make them run the ball, which they're okay at, you have a shot at beating them. So, yeah, they got a shot.
All right. Is that it for the sports update?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here on the Billy and Joe Top 10 show, we like to do a top 10 and normally plus 1. That was Joe's idea right from the beginning of the show. But the nice thing is we're both on board today with a top 10 plus 1. And our topic was going to be the top players all time of the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
If the Colts would have won, I would have gone with that, but I'm just a little bit soured, and it's on to maybe next year and all that for the Colts.
You and the rest of the Colts nation, brother.
And I will say this though is thank goodness that we've won a Super Bowl. We're not still sitting here waiting to win one. We had the opportunity to win another one, but we felt sorry for those people in New Orleans because of the hurricanes, and we gave the second one to them. But just think of all those other teams that just haven't had the shot, or I mean, there's got to be a little bit of luck. There's got to be a lot of organization, a lot of talent, and I'm just glad that we've at least won one in my lifetime.
Do you know the story of Tony Dungy and the Bucks and the conversation with Ursay?
No, share
Okay.
please.
I've heard this as a rumor and I've heard this as a fact. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. So it's been, let me do the math real quick. It's been 13 years since the Colts won the Super Bowl. After that, Dungy approaches the owner, Ursay. Derek Brooks, John Lynch, and Warren Sapp want to come here for, I believe, the minimum wage, minimum salary. And Ursay said no. And Tony said, okay. And could you imagine Derek Brooks, John Lynch, and Warren Sapp in a Colts uniform in 2007?
Wow.
What that would have changed on the Indianapolis Colts landscape.
Wow.
Yeah. So
before we also get started, there's a little switch to college basketball, and especially Indiana University, and of course the Arlington Golden Knights, which is in Indianapolis, Arlington High School. We lost Wayne Ratford, who was on the undefeated 32-0 perfect season at Indiana University, and also played 1 year with the Pacers. We lost him over the weekend. From what I understand, a great guy, a good person, great guy, and of course, part of that perfect season that, in my opinion, is not going to be broken.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Although I have heard some smack from people from Gonzaga that this may be the year they go undefeated, but you got to slap an asterisk on that with Rona.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Gonzaga up there are they in the Pac-12 or Mountain West?
Don't know, don't care.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, their conference is kind of weak. So yeah, I'm like, okay, sure. So, but they got a good team though, and a great coach. So
they do, and year after year he brings it. So it's going to be quite. The NCAA tournament too is going to be held. All of the games are going to be held in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
or in the state of Indiana, Mackey Assembly Hall, Bankers Fieldhouse, Hinkle Fieldhouse. All of those places. And a lot of people were like, you should have put it in some of the high school gyms. You got to remember, a high school gym is 84 feet.
Right.
And for a NCAA college basketball, you've got to be 94 feet. So
yeah, right. Sure.
A lot of people got to remember that. Although that would have been a great idea to have some games in Newcastle, or, so on and so forth, with some classic gyms. Because, top 10 out of the top 11 or something like that, capacity gyms in the world are in the state of Indiana.
The original Anderson High School wigwam used to be number 2 in the world.
Yep. So you got the Chrysler Fieldhouse, or Newcastle, where Newcastle Trojans play, which is just a great place to watch basketball. But it's going to be interesting as long as we can continue to survive the coronavirus and get it underneath our belts. It's going to be a great March Madness, in my opinion. Have
you been in Chrysler Fieldhouse?
I guess I have.
They are super smart, because Anderson, and I'm from Anderson, so I'm okay to say this. The thing that Newcastle did that Anderson should have done to save the wigwam, and believe me, I love Anderson High School history. What Newcastle did, which Anderson should have done, how Newcastle sponsors their gym is all the car dealerships sponsor their gym. So all the money comes in from the local car dealers, and Anderson didn't have any of that. And that was because it was $250,000 just to put the heat and the lights on in the wigwam. Fact. So,
wow.
Yeah, and that's why it's not there anymore.
Right. So, is it actually gone?
Oh yeah, it's collecting dust, and there's still high school trophies in there, high school pictures in there. My band stuff is still in there, It's just rotting, doing nothing. Well, check that. There's a Jane Pauley Foundation place there at the old Anderson High School downtown, but outside of that, it's rotting, which is a tragedy. So,
Tragedy. It was a great song by the Bee Gees.
did you see? They have a documentary on HBO now.
That's true. Is there only one left now?
One Anderson High School?
No, one BG.
Yes.
So I mean, when they announce them, is it, ladies and gentlemen, the BG?
Cold-blooded, bro.
And
Cold-blooded.
what about that song
Barry
"Staying Alive"?
Gibb, yeah, Barry Gibb, right?
And what about that song "Staying Alive"? I mean, couldn't the other two stay
Not so
alive?
much.
Or?
Not so much.
Yeah.
I think he sang with Justin Timberlake recently.
Oh man, that's kind of like Gonzaga. Don't know, don't care.
Well, just saying.
Yeah. All right. So our top 10 list today with a bonus.
Yes.
Is both Joe and I's, me and Joe's. I'm
Yes.
not writing it, so I can't be, crucified for it with my grammar. Top 10 plus bonus uniforms, our favorite uniforms from not necessarily our favorite teams, but just our favorite uniforms growing up.
Oh, that's my favorite team.
And even today.
Really?
Teams. Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So why don't we start with your bonus pick, Joe?
I did the Google Assist, and I came up with a bunch of ideas. It was hard to narrow it down, and I tried to do a little bit of everybody. So my number 11 is the Chicago Blackhawks black throwback jersey, black and red. It's predominantly black with red highlights.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Are you a big hockey fan?
Only during the Olympics, really. My best friend Craig's a huge Blackhawks guy, but not really.
Okay. Well, my bonus pick coming in at number 11. Let's see if I could actually even put this on the screen.
Yeah. Kenny Stabler, the snake.
The Oiler blue, the baby blues. I mean, I just love the helmet. I love just that light blue and the way they did that. If it wasn't for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Houston Oilers may have made it to a couple of Super Bowls.
Right. That's higher on my list. But yes, I've got that.
That's number 11.
Good pick. Man, Earl Campbell could run over anybody.
Man, and Earl Campbell. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Him and Walter Payton could run over anybody. So, a good pick. My number 10 is when Gretzky was there. I think they wore it, the LA Kings black jersey.
Oh yes, and we all know where Wayne Gretzky got his high school diploma.
Yes, you're home.
Where?
Broad Ripple.
There we go, man. There we go. You know, it's all these are interesting because the Oilers weren't my favorite team growing up.
Right.
I rooted for them against the Steelers.
Right.
But you know, they weren't my favorite team. Of course, in '84, the Colts rolled into town on the Mayflower moving vans and moving trucks. But I just really enjoyed their uniforms.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt. And their coach Bum Phillips was great.
Yeah, and yes, and so no, I like that LA Kings. It didn't work out as well, or as like they thought with Wayne Gretzky going to the Kings. But hey, gotta try it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, now let me see if I can get this next one up here. Coming in at number 10.
I didn't have that one. That's a great pick.
You just gotta like it, man. It's just pretty cool, you know.
Dave Winfield,
Gary Templeton, Steve Garvey played there for a little bit. Goose Gossage played there for a little bit.
Yep. Great pick. The swinging priest.
The friar or whatever it is. It is, exactly.
Right. That's funny. Um, I I want to meet three people who are sports athletes that I grew up with. So my number 9 pick is the '81 Phillies maroon jersey, specifically Mike Schmidt.
Oh, very nice. Yep. Once again, yep. Love that.
Yeah,
And
and
sometimes it's, go ahead.
when you look at that team, it was kind of the Cincinnati Reds. It was Joe Morgan, and it was Pete Rose, and and then you had a great team, and of course you had Steve Carlton, that could throw flamethrowers into the Bob Boone's catcher's mitt. Yeah, it was
Larry
great time.
Larry
Yep.
Boa, you know,
Yeah. Yep. Great guys.
McBride,
Great.
Matthews,
Yep. Yep.
Tug.
Yep. Yep.
Man,
Great team.
you can just go on and on. I like sometimes, well, at work, there's no one who knows anything about sports. And of course, my wife doesn't. And of course, my wife doesn't care for it either. But when I did have people that work with me and know something about sports, we would just go back and forth and name players from a team until someone couldn't name a player. It was pretty fun.
Okay.
Okay, so here comes mine. The picture I'm going to show you is that they played in shorts a couple times with this jersey, but I also enjoyed it when they also, of course, wore the regular stirrups and baseball pants. But hey, here we go. Let's see if you can take a look at this one.
Oh man, I love how do you slide in those?
Man, no, exactly, man. And also too, how come, in Chicago, the Windy City, how come you didn't blow away with those collars?
Yeah, I that got eliminated from my list, but I was where's in 1992, everybody had a black White Sox hat because of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
That's true. That's true. And they were always trying something. Disco sucks. Blowing up the records and always trying something to bring a crowd to Comiskey Park. But I enjoyed those. Some of these could be on the list of worst.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But these are my favorite. So.
And when I think of the old White Sox, I think of Bo Jackson, and then I think of Carlton Fisk and Greg Lazinski.
Oh yeah, the Bull.
Yes. So love those guys. My number 9 is the Chargers powder blue with LaDainian Tomlinson and Dan Fouts.
Man, the Chargers. Another one of those teams that, like the Bills and it just, maybe can make a Super Bowl, but you just can't, prosper while you're there playing it.
Yeah. Yes, precisely. So, and for the Raiders, that's a good thing.
I was gonna put the. I'm assuming the Raiders is on your list, but we'll find out as we get a little bit closer to your number one. But I was
not what you think.
Not, okay,
it's not what you think.
But I really enjoyed the. There's a lot of great Hall of Fame players that played for the San Diego Chargers, and Johnny Unitas, I think. Wore the Bolts for a little while too, but I see you. Now, you guys see the IU hat? It's on my head. So, some of this stuff that's going to come down is going to be Indiana related.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show this one. This right here is the University of Evansville.
The Purple Aces.
Most of that photo, if it was colored, would be purple.
Right.
And look at the guys in the robes.
They look like boxing robes.
They wore robes, and the intimidation factor of wearing robes when they came out to warm up was just incredible. In that photo, you can see Larry Humes, who was just a great Indiana high school basketball player and a great Evansville ace, a Madison Cub. But if this was color, it's just the robes and it was a T-shirt style uniform rather than a wife beater style.
The tank top versus the
short
sleeve.
And for someone who has man boobs, I really love the T-shirt style basketball jersey.
You
But
and
if
me
you,
both, brother.
yeah, but if you saw this and it was in color, the purple robes are just amazing.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, before the internet and everything, it's really hard to find their gear. Really hard.
It is.
But it's much easier now. I had to put this number 7 team on here because they have 6 different versions of their football jersey. But I'm with the team. I'm like, okay, but I had to say the Oregon Ducks football jerseys.
Well, it definitely can't be the picture of their basketball court, man. That's got to be the worst basketball court I've ever seen. They make it look like a pond. That's just awful.
Yeah, it looks, you get lost.
And the worst, we could do worse basketball courts. TCU, man, the Horned Frogs or the Toads, or whatever they're
right,
called.
the Horned Frogs, right?
They got
sure.
that white thing that kind of mirrors back at you, and that's just, it's like ice. I mean, it's ugly. It's gross.
Yeah.
But I digress on basketball courts. Don't get me started on Boise State's football field.
The Smurf blue field.
Okay, so rolling up on mine, and this was from when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out here. I really enjoy the Miami Dolphins.
Oh man, 72 team with Zonka and Mercury Morris and Bob Gracie from Purdue.
Yeah, exactly. Just and they've kept it that way. And I love their helmets. I loved it when Dan Marino played with them. We would go down to Florida once a year to either it be on the Atlantic side or the Gulf side, to Sarasota or to Daytona, and I just got a little bit of a feel for the Dolphins and how much the Dolphins are appreciated, of course, in Florida. But that's on my list.
Yeah, great team, great jersey.
Yeah, there was a kicker from Indiana that played for him for a little while too, Pete Stoyanovich. So
right,
little home cooking there. He's not from Indiana, but pretty cool.
I love all the college basketball teams here in Indiana. I love all them, but when I think of iconic college basketball jerseys, and it was really because of one guy, really, I gotta say the North Carolina Tar Heels, blue,
the
powder blue away jerseys.
I agree with that. I spent some time in Richmond, Virginia, and when North Carolina was in the Final Four, I was a youngster, just kind of getting my bearings with college basketball, and my uncle bought me a powder blue and white North Carolina Tar Heel basketball, and I had that for years. So I agree with that, man.
Yep.
And you hit the word with iconic. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. I mean, he was there for 3 years, and that was and if we have any teens that watch this show, and hopefully they do, you may not know this fact, and the fact is Michael Jordan his high school was so competitive. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team till he was a junior. So if you get cut, don't give up. Keep trying.
And of course the Tar Heels with the great Dean Smith and
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so Homer Billy from the state of Indiana. On this next one, it's just a classic uniform. Is from the Indianapolis Indians.
Oh yeah.
The AAA farm team for the Cincinnati Reds for years. Cincinnati Reds would come to town. I got to see the Big Red Machine a couple times when they came and play exhibition games. Of course, not all the players were played. And of course, the Indians won a few times I got to watch, but it was exhibition. But as a kid, it was just fantastic to see the Big Red Machine. And that's just a shot there of the mound. And behind there it's just a beautiful Busch Stadium. Anytime I put this on any kind of page or anything like that, people are like, "Oh, you misspelled Bush," and that's in St. Louis. No, It's Bush Stadium, named after the first owner of the Indianapolis Indians, Oni Bush, Owniebush, and
Right.
just a baseball stadium full of memories. And I love the jersey.
I need to get a hold of the current Indians hat. So that's the one thing I don't have. I need to get a hold of that.
And nothing against Victory Field and the current Indianapolis Indians and where they play, but which is always in the top 10 of minor league ballparks and minor league baseball teams, but nothing against them.
My number 5 pick, it has a Indiana native from there. The Seattle Supersonics green away jerseys.
Oh, and they're trying to get back in the league.
Oh yeah, I don't see why not. So yeah, sure. So we'll see.
And
I hope so.
And Sean Kemp,
Right.
played for him for years, or for
And
well, at least I think he was there long enough that that's where he had most of his 10 or 11 kids.
and downtown Fred Brown.
Downtown Freddie Brown, Jack Sikma.
Oh yeah, and Gary Payton.
Gus Williams.
Yeah.
Gary
When they won
Payton.
the title.
The glove.
Yeah. When they won the title in 1980, right?
Right. I think it was 80
or 79. One of the two. They beat the Washington Bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So this powder blue thing has a little bit of a catch in my list, and the good old classic. And once again, I'm from Indiana. The powder blue of Indiana State University Sycamores.
That's still a cool jersey. It's too bad they don't make hats like that.
Correct, man, and that is you hit the nail on the head. There is so much that you could go for at Indiana State University, and it would sell. And check out Magic looking at everything Bird's going to do, even though he got beat in that national championship game. Just giving Magic a hard time. That's all.
If they had that hat, man, that would sell. I think that would sell a good amount. So anyway, we've discussed this before. What was their nickname? Was it the Bumble in Blue? Houston Oilers? No, Big Blue. Houston Oilers.
Yeah. So that's is that the only thing? That's the only one that's on both of our lists so far, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They also called it Baby Blue.
Yes.
You got Dan Pastorini. You had Kenny the Snake Stabler. Yeah. You had Earl Campbell. Unfortunate that the NFL football here in Houston did not take something away from that. And of course, the owner of the Tennessee Titans made it like the colors trademark, and he stole it. And Houston can't use any of those colors, nor the Derrick or anything like that.
Right. That's what happened with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
So they trademarked that.
Well, I'm going to have 2 unis.
Okay.
From the same team.
Okay.
And I like this just because of the shorts.
That's the same pick, brother.
No, bro, the shorts are different.
That's the same pick, bro.
So the shorts are different because they're striped.
That's the same pick, bro.
Didn't I just say that on the outset of this pick?
Okay, I'll give you the push on that one.
And check it out, man. I could actually wear those shorts without them looking like pants.
That was from the cover of SI.
Yes, it was. And, like the Fab Five coming out with those shorts that went below the knee. I mean, seriously, man, it would still be high water on me as pants.
Me too.
I just never got, and I'm not a fan of nutters either. The shorts that, speaking of Gonzaga earlier, what was the guy's name that used to give the ball all the time to Karl Malone? John Stockton.
John Stockton, right? Sure.
So I'm not a fan of those shorts, but I do like some halfway decent shorts that you're just not personal preference. It's kind of like my caps. Today, if there's any teenagers watching, they got these caps that like this. Cut the crap, man. Fold it like that, man. We got a cap when we were a kid. We get a cap even when we're in our 50s, and we down it. We don't go around going, "Hey, what's up?" Okay.
So you were talking about the short shorts of the 70s and 80s with the NBA, and Ice Cube had a really good reference for that. And he said, "Yeah, back then they were wearing panties." And I'm like, that's pretty accurate.
Well played.
My next pick for my top 3 is the 73 ABA Pacers uniforms.
Ooh.
Indiana Pacers, I should say.
Yes. Iconic ABA team, historical,
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
be forgotten.
Yeah.
3
And
championships.
The only jersey I've seen from that is the George McGinnis with the stripe that goes down and swoops over and goes down. So it's super cool. I'd love to get a hold of one of those.
By the way, the NBA is shafting the ABA and its former players, by the way. I just want to let everybody know that for a little bit and give them kind of a shout out to droppingdimes.org. You can donate to that. So I think now there's less than 100 ABA players left. Of course, some of the ABA players went on and played the 3 years that you need to play in the NBA to get your pension. But current ABA players who did not play in the NBA are only getting just minimal amount of money, and it's kind of disgusting.
And minimal benefits, and they need the benefits.
Almost no benefits.
Right.
Little cash, almost no benefits. So
right.
And it's wrong what the NBA is doing. So, and I'm going to make a comment here is that 86% of the ABA players were black. You're going to make all this statement for Black Lives Matter and everything else within the NBA. Take care of your ABA players who paved the path to what the NBA is today. And it's minimal.
And the St. Louis Spirits owners are still getting paid.
Don't get me started on that one.
Okay. They're getting paid a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is behind me. It's not the Georgia Tech shirt either, and that's Roger Kaiser, by the way, number 21, Georgia Tech's first All-American from the state of Indiana. He was an Indiana All-Star. But here comes my there, man.
I can name all those guys.
Oh my gosh! And just to pull over, of course, it's nice and hot. But the Cincinnati Reds, especially the big red machine jerseys. Yep. I've got the Pete Rose one, like I said, right behind me. The sad thing is that is allegedly authentic, but I think it's just a knockoff from China. But hey, it looks pretty good hanging up on my back wall.
Yeah, I did the China thing once, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. I met George Foster, super cool guy, and Pete Rose, super great. Foster was great that day. Rose was great. So yeah, cool people. I'd love to meet Tony Perez, actually.
Well, you could meet Tony Perez. You just don't know if you'd understand what he says because that accent is so thick still today.
Well, okay.
So thick. It's very interesting. It's fun to watch him and Pete Rose talk to each other.
I can believe that.
Yeah, good old number 24, Tony Perez.
My number 2 pick is not what you think it's going to be. They brought it back, which I was very happy they did. It's the AFL throwback jerseys, the Raiders silver and white away jerseys.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
I know you said it's not what I thought it was going to be, but I knew you had to have some Raiders in there somewhere.
Oh, well, yeah, but it wasn't the standard silver and black that
you talk about your Raiders being your favorite football team.
Mm-hmm.
You even have an email address addressed to being a real Raider fan.
Right.
But I loved the Raiders when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting ready to roll out it was between that Raiders and what I'm getting ready to roll out for my number two.
Okay.
But you got the football cards. I got Cliff Branch, you got Dave Casper, you got Fred Blitnikoff, you got Kenny the Snake Stabler, you got did I say Dave Casper? You got
Yes.
you just got the whole list of just dominant, just macho guys that my first introduction to football. But I did not pick the Raiders for my second pick because I knew you were going to bring that to the table.
No surprise.
But I owned one of these jerseys. This is just, I don't care what you say about the helmet. I don't care what you say about the logo. This is the bomb.
Oh man, I love the Dreamsicle uniform and the helmet.
Man, I don't care if you go 0-14. I don't care if you go 2-14. I don't care if you're Steve Young playing for him. I don't care if you're
Doug Williams.
Doug, anybody.
Yeah.
Actually Lars Tate, who played high school football at North Central and then wanted to play at Georgia, and then got to wear that beautiful Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform. So that's my number two.
They were in the mix, but I couldn't put them in, but they were definitely in the mix.
I am very interested in seeing your number one.
Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dr. J.
Oh man, that is awesome. What's the hat that you have on?
I don't have a Sixers hat, so
what is that?
I had the Pharrell Williams.
Okay.
Club. It's a fancy B.
The doctor is in the house. That is a show everybody the back there. Can you switch around there?
I believe so. Tell me if you can see it.
Is Irby. Perfect. Glad you're wearing pants.
So I have yes, of course. So I've got all the Dr. J jerseys except for the home white. I've got the red, and I've got this one. I'm looking for the home white, which I don't have.
You have.
So anyway, go ahead.
Do you have Dr. J's autograph?
No, I do not.
No.
I want to meet him, Mike Schmidt, and Marcus Allen, and then I'd be good. So
very nice. Can you take a wild guess at my number one?
Well, I want to tell everybody this is the 76 away Philadelphia 76 jersey where they made it to the NBA championship against the Portland Trailblazers.
And Bill Walton.
And Big Mac George McGinnis was on that team.
Yeah. And Johnny Davis was who went on to play for the Pacers for a couple of years, was on that
yes,
Portland squad. But Bill Walton.
He's a terrible broadcaster.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm kind of enjoying him.
Okay, you can have him. I'll take Jay Billis any day.
I have been enjoying him. So speaking of Bill Walton, Indiana Pacers basketball, here comes Billy's number one, and it's iconic. They've, besides putting a new logo, besides putting a new brand on it, it's iconic. And why not put the guy who dropped 57 on Broad Ripple and Hinkle Fieldhouse in 1983?
I knew that was coming.
I mean, it's it's never changed. It's Indiana University. It's it's not crazy. It's not fluorescent, but it just says winter, or it says basketball. It says Indiana.
That used to be known worldwide.
Yes, and unfortunately, because of several different things, and of course, society advancing, Indiana basketball is just not what it used to be.
Right, but you can have that argument with Kentucky. You can have that argument with UCLA. But yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, they're trying to change the name of Kentucky to add an S in there, Kentucky.
Sorry, Uncle John, he didn't mean it. He lives in Kentucky. He's a big Kentucky guy.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the Billy and Joe Top 10 show. That was our top 10 plus a bonus pick of our favorite jerseys, be it baseball, basketball, hockey, or soccer, or whatever that we just went through. Please go to our Facebook page, the Billy and Joe Top 10 show. please drop in comment sections, whether we suck, whether we're good, whether you listened, whether you watched. Give us a topic for the top 10. So
We'd love to hear from you.
yes, and once again, check out Joe Carney's podcast, Indie's Local Flavor, on iTunes. Like I said, just type it in the search bar. And also, please go to Keeping the Nostalgia Alive. That's all one word. I've been told that I say that too fast. It's Keeping the Nostalgia Alive .podbean. That's a pod and then a bean.com. And you can listen to well over 200 interviews from the great state of Indiana, high school basketball, college basketball, pro basketball is even in there. Dan Issel, Billy Keller, Rick Mount, Dave Shellhouse, Kent Benson, you name it. Just go to keepingthenostalgiaalive.podbean.com and download some episodes and listen to them at your convenience. So once again, this has been the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show. Joe, thank you so much.
Can I throw in the last word real quick?
Go right ahead.
I want to say thanks to everybody for listening to the Indie's Local Flavor podcast, and we just added Brazil.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's interesting when we go, like when I go to yours and see what countries have been listening to yours, what countries listen to mine. It's just you want to be there when somebody from Brazil is listening to your show, or someone from Iran, or someone from Vietnam.
I'd love to get over there.
Or you know, I mean, Iraq. You're like, where are they listening to this? And I mean, are they in, you know, it's just it's very cool. So. But please go to the Billy and Joe Top 10, the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on Facebook. Subscribe, follow us, and also go to our YouTube channel. You're probably watching this on YouTube, and to Keep the Nostalgia Live Show, and subscribe to us. Joe, it's been wonderful. Appreciate it once again, and I guess we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. It's always fun hanging out with you, bro. Good to see you.